Hello and welcome to Idea TV News Update. I am Cynthia Basi. We begin with the headlines. OLATUNJI, DISU confirmed as Nigeria's Inspector General of Police. LEBARA enters Nigeria with niche-focused MVNO strategy. Senegal and Meta strengthen partnership to combat cybercrime. Mauritania's second subsea cable 46% complete, set for 2027 launch. Away from Africa, Putin calls for immediate Middle East ceasefire. Lebanon bans HEZBOLLAH military actions amid Israeli strikes. In business, CPPE warns Middle East crisis could blunt Nigeria's oil and foreign exchange gains. And in health, Nigeria to receive new HIV prevention drug lenacapavir in March. And in sports, Nigerian athletes dominate NCAA indoor conferences with 32 medals. Now the news in full. The National Police Council has officially endorsed OLATUNJI DISU as the substantive Inspector General of Police following a meeting at the State House in Abuja today. The Council's decision was confirmed by Bayo Nanuga, Special Advisor to President Bola Tinubu, after a 40-minute session chaired by the President in compliance with the Police Act 2020. DISU had been serving as acting IGP since his appointment on Wednesday following the resignation of former IGP Kayode of Hegseth, who cited family issues in his letter of resignation. The Council's endorsement now paves the way for the Senate to formally confirm DISU's appointment. Key attendees include Vice President Kashim Shettima, Secretary to the Government of the Federation George Akume, National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu, State Governors and Ministers of Police Affairs, Interior and FCT. President Tinubu's move signals continuity in leadership within the Nigerian police force amid ongoing security challenges. DISU is expected to lead the force in implementing reforms and overseeing operations nationwide, consolidating its authority after acting in the role for several days. The endorsement highlights the government's commitment to strengthening law enforcement leadership while ensuring adherence to legal procedures under the Police Act. LEBARA has officially launched operations in Nigeria, adopting a niche-focused mobile virtual network operator model aimed at serving underserved and specialized mobile users. The soft launch, announced on the 2nd of March, positions the company among the 46 licensed MVNOs in the country. LEBARA says it will prioritize communities affected by network disruptions, service gaps, and high data costs, offering tailored and affordable voice, SMS, and data services. The company will operate on a software-led asset-light model, leveraging existing mobile network infrastructure instead of building its own towers. Chief Executive Officer Stockman stated that the strategy is designed to expand access to reliable connectivity while keeping operational costs low. By using shared infrastructure, LEBARA intends to provide flexible pricing options and customized solutions for specific consumer segments. Meanwhile, LEBARA aims to attract up to 1 million subscribers within its first year, tapping into Nigeria's youthful population and growing demand for digital services. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu welcomed the development, describing it as a boost to the country's digital economy. The company said its entry demonstrates how niche competition and infrastructure sharing can enhance service quality, reduce costs, and broaden access to the global digital opportunities. Still in Africa, Senegal has expanded cooperation with Meta platforms to strengthen online security and combat cybercrime following a meeting last week between Deputy Director General and the National Police Controller General Abdul Wahabu Sar and a Meta delegation. The talks focus on protecting minors on social media and improving coordination between law enforcement and the technology firm which owns Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. Meta pledged technical support and training to enhance investigative capacity under the partnership. Specialized police units, particularly the Cybercrime Division, will receive training on Meta's law enforcement portal and digital investigative tools to speed up legal requests and content reviews. Authorities said the move responds to a surge in cyber fraud, online harassment, and illicit digital activity as internet use continues to expand. A recent cyber attacks are targeting public institutions, including the National Tax Platform and the agency responsible for identity documents, have underscored vulnerabilities in the country's digital infrastructure. According to the International Telecommunication Union 2024 Global Cyber Security Index, Senegal 67.17 out of 100, placing it in Tier 3, a category for countries with foundational cybersecurity measures in place. The government has since launched a 1.0 new deal aimed at transforming Senegal into a regional technology hub by 2034. President Bassirou has pledged to strengthen cyber resilience, protect critical data, and build a more sovereign digital ecosystem. Mauritania has announced that construction of its second international subsea cable with commissioning now targeted for the first quarter of 2027. Minister of Digital Transformation and Modernization of Administration, following a meeting with a delegation from Link led by CEO Philippe Dumont. Authorities say the timeline has been accelerated from its initial 2028 target to strengthen the country's international connectivity. Marine operations, including cable laying off the Mauritanian coast, remain on schedule, while the beach manhole linking the subsea cable to the terrestrial network is nearing completion. Construction of the landing station and its terrestrial connection began in Nouadhibou in July 2025, with officials expressing confidence that early 2027 commissioning is achievable. The new cable will initially deliver 200 gigabytes per second of international capacity, upgradable to 500 GBPs with a total design capacity of 12 terabytes. Authorities say the project will complement the existing Africa Coast to Europe cable, which Mauritania has relied on since 2011. Heavy dependence on ACE has previously exposed the country to nationwide internet and mobile service disruptions during outages and maintenance, making the new link critical to improving digital resilience and reducing connectivity risk. We'll go on a quick break now. The news continues when we return.
Machine customers. Machine customers are AI systems that can make autonomous purchasing decisions on behalf of businesses or individuals. These systems analyze data, predict needs, and place orders without human intervention. For example, AI-powered chatbots can reorder supplies for a company when stock runs low. While this trend improves efficiency, it raises concerns about control and accountability over automated processes. As companies explore this concept further, B2B and B2C transactions will increasingly rely on machine customers.
This is Innovation Television.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is Idea TV News Update. Now, the rest of the news. Away from Africa, Russian President Vladimir Putin today urged an immediate ceasefire and escalating Middle East conflict during separate phone conversations with Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan of the United Arab Emirates and Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani of Qatar. The discussions came amid intensifying hostilities following United States and Israeli strikes on Iran and retaliatory attacks from Tehran that have affected parts of the Gulf region. He emphasized the need to halt the violence and resume political and diplomatic engagement to prevent further escalation. While the airspace closures and disruptions were reported across major Gulf hubs, including Dubai and Abu Dhabi, as regional authorities responded to the growing security risk. During his call with the UAE, President Putin expressed readiness to relay concerns from Gulf leaders to Tehran and to assist in stabilizing the situation. The Russian Foreign Ministry condemned attacks on civilian targets in the region, stressing the importance of restraint. Russia, which contains or maintains close ties with Iran and Gulf monarchies, has sought to strengthen its Middle East partnerships while facing continued isolation from Western nations over the Ukraine conflict. The UAE has previously acted as a mediator in Russia-related diplomatic efforts, including hosting talks and facilitating prisoner exchanges linked to the ongoing war in Ukraine. Still away from Africa, the Lebanese Republic government today ordered HEZBOLLAH to halt all military activities after the Iran-backed group launched attacks on Israel in retaliation for the killing of Iran's supreme leader. The cabinet decision announced by Prime Minister Nawaf Salam marks a significant shift in Lebanon's power balance, emphasizing that decisions over war and peace rest exclusively with the Lebanese state. The move comes as Israel responded with airstrikes on Hezbollah-controlled areas in southern Beirut and elsewhere, killing 31 people, according to the Lebanese Health Ministry. Hezbollah, established by Iran's Revolutionary Guards in 1982, stated its attacks were in defense of Lebanon and to avenge Khamenei's death. Israel declared key Hezbollah leaders as targets and reported the death of top intelligence official Hussein Makhled. Residents of southern Beirut fled in panic as roads became congested amid the bombardment, reflecting the human toll of escalating hostilities in the region. Analysts described the government's ban as historic, though enforcement could trigger localized clashes given Hezbollah's refusal to fully disarm. The cabinet emphasized that any military action outside the state's control is illegal, obliging Hezbollah to hand over weapons to national authorities. While past efforts to curb the group's military capabilities sparked armed confrontations, the current government has sought to gradually disarm Hezbollah, particularly near the Israeli border, without provoking a broad conflict. As citizens exhausted by decades of war called for safety and an end to recurrent violence, underscoring the urgent challenge for Lebanon to balance sovereignty, security, and civil order. In business news now, the Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise, CPPE, has warned that Nigeria faces a double-edged impact from the escalating Middle East conflict, as rising crude oil prices may be offset by global financial volatility. In a policy brief released today, CPPE said tensions involving Iran, the United States and Israel have heightened fears of disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz, a corridor that carries nearly 20% of global crude supply. The group cautioned that while higher oil prices could boost export earnings, foreign exchanges reserves and government revenue, financial market instability may trigger capital outflows that weaken the naira. While Chief Executive Officer Dr. Muda Yusuf noted that Nigeria's oil-dependent economy, where crude accounts for over 85% of export earnings and about half of government revenue, remains vulnerable to external shocks. The report added that Nigeria's shallow capital markets and reliance on foreign portfolio inflows increase exposure to global risk aversion. The think tank further warned that higher crude prices could worsen domestic inflation under deregulated fuel pricing, as increased petrol, diesel, and aviation fuel costs could cause fades into transportation, food, and manufacturing expenses. Meanwhile, government revenues may rise, household welfare could decline, creating a gap between fiscal gains and social outcomes. CPPE urged fiscal prudence, recommending savings from any oil windfall, accelerated refining capacity, and stronger social protection, while emphasizing the urgency of economic diversification to reduce exposure to oil-driven volatility. In health news now, the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NCAA, has announced that Nigeria will receive shipments of lenacapavir, a new HIV prevention drug, in March 2026. The injectable treatment, administered twice a year, has shown 100% effectiveness in preventing HIV infection in clinical trials. NACA confirmed that the drug has received regulatory approval from the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control and will be available at an affordable price of $40 per person annually through voluntary licensing agreements with generic manufacturers. While lenacapavir will be rolled out as pre-exposure prophylaxis complementing Nigeria's ongoing HIV prevention programs. NACA has completed readiness assessment in 10 states, including Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Benue, Cross River, Ebonyi, FCT, Gombe, Kano, Kwara, and Lagos, and is coordinating preparations for nationwide distribution. The agency emphasized that this initiative reflects the government's commitment to strengthening HIV prevention and accelerating progress towards epidemic control. Nigeria currently has about 1.9 million people living with HIV, with a national prevalence of 1.3% among adults aged 15 to 49. The country recorded 74,000 new infections and 51,000 AIDS-related deaths in 2021, with the highest prevalence in the South-South zone at 3.1%, while women in the 15 to 49 age group are more than twice as likely as men to be living with HIV, highlighting the critical need for accessible and effective prevention measures. Finally, in sports news, Nigeria student athletes delivered a historic performance at the 2026 NCAA Indoor Conference Championships across the United States, claiming 32 medals across multiple divisions, including the SEC, Big Ten, Big 12, and ACC. Highlighting the standout displays, Samuel Ghazi of Alabama set a new African and Nigerian record in the men's 400 meter with a time of 44.72 seconds, while Ella Onojuwevo of LSU broke the 51-second barrier in the women's 400 meter with 50.96 seconds. Kanyinsola Ajayi of Auburn won gold in the men's 60 meter, equaling the NCAA all-time record of 6.45 seconds. Temitope Addition of Texas Tech cleared 1.96 meters to win women's high jump at the Big 12, while Emmanuel Njoku men's long jump and Chidozie Carlo men's triple jump secured silver medals in the Big Ten. Other notable achievements include Blessing Akintoye's double gold in Division 2 sprints, Favor Onya's 200-meter gold at the Southland Conference, and praise Joma's victories in the long jump and triple jump at Conference USA. Across multiple divisions, Nigerian competitors set school records, personal bests, and national records, demonstrating depth in sprinting, jumps, and motor events. With conference championship concluded, attention now turns to the NCAA Division 1 Indoor Championship scheduled for March 13 to 14 in Fayetteville, Arkansas, while Division 2 and 3 events will take place simultaneously in Virginia Beach and Birmingham. The unprecedented medal haul underscores Nigeria's growing influence in collegiate athletics and sets high expectations for the national finals, signaling a rising generation of world-class talent poised to make an impact on the global stage. And that's all we have for you on Idea TV News Update. But before we go, here is a recap of the headlines. We brought you news that OLATUNJI DISU confirmed as Nigeria's Inspector General of Police. LEBARA enters Nigeria with niche-focused MVNO strategy. And Senegal Meta strengthened partnership to combat cybercrime. Mauritania's second subsea cable 46% complete, set for 2027 launch. Away from Africa, Putin calls for immediate Middle East ceasefire. Lebanon bans HEZBOLLAH military actions amid Israeli strikes. And in business, CPPE warns Middle East crisis could blunt Nigeria's oil and foreign exchange gains. And in health, Nigeria to receive new HIV prevention drug lenacapavir in March. Finally, in sport, Nigerian athletes dominate NCAA indoor conferences with 32 medals. Now, do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms at Idea Television. I am Cynthia Abasi. Thank you for your time.